Hey, my name is Willie Minix. I am the owner of Minix Music in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and today we're going to be talking about the tin whistle. And this is tin whistle for stroke patients. Um, One of the things that we talk about on our channel is ambidexterity exercises that can help you get better if you've had a stroke or if you've maybe you're just starting out as a musician. But this one basically I think is an exercise that I think will help stroke patients because it's adding three things that you're dealing with. Number one, when you have a stroke, a lot of times part of your face feels like it's paralyzed, like it's not working quite the way that it used to work. The other thing that you might deal with is the brain function, left and right hemispheres are giving you some issues. So this is just ridiculously simple, but if you've ever been interested in music before, or maybe you've played an instrument before, but you're having a really hard time relearning the instrument that you're good at, get yourself a tin whistle. Now, let me give you some advice. Don't get one of those cheap, crappy tin whistles that you can get online for like $10. They will drive you nuts, and you're already dealing with an issue that's already driving you nuts. So maybe spend a couple extra bucks and get a good one. This is a Killarney. This came from Ireland, and but you don't have to buy as good a tin whistle as this. But there's a guy. He makes tweaked whistles. I can't remember his name, but I have a few of his whistles as well. He takes cheaper whistles and he reworks them and makes them into pretty good instruments. Just look around, find a decent whistle, and when you've got your whistle, you're ready to go. Now you could also do this with a recorder. The only thing with a recorder is you have more holes. A whistle's nice because it only has 3 holes per hand. So what you're going to do is you're going to cover, and this is what you're going to do before you even start playing. Okay, you want to practice putting your fingers, which this might be difficult for you if you've had a stroke. You want to make sure that you get your fingers over those holes. So this is a fine motor skill exercise that you're doing, and you can examine it. You can hold it and look at it and say, okay, is my finger totally covering that hole? Is my finger totally over that one? Do I have that one covered? And when you've got them covered with one hand and you can actually hold it and grip it, which could be an issue, just start by practicing that and work on that with whatever hand you start with. In this case, if we're going to work on the bottom holes, we're working with our right hand. Now, with your left hand, you're going to want to do the same thing. So you're going to practice holding the whistle with just your left hand and covering those holes and making sure that each one of those holes is covered. That may take a while. I mean, I'm not talking about, this is something you should be able to do immediately day one. This may be something that it takes you a week or two just to get to where you can put your fingers on those holes and hold it in place. When you finally get to the point where you can do that, then practice it with both hands. And notice we haven't even started playing the whistle yet. We're just practicing getting our fingers over these holes. And when you do that, then what you're going to do is you're just going to practice lifting up one finger at a time. So you're going to go this is my ring finger of my right hand, and then I put it down. Then I lift up my middle finger of my right hand and I put it down. Then my first finger of my right hand and I put it down. Then I move on to the ring finger of my left hand, middle finger of my left hand, first finger of my left hand. And you want to go up each finger, and then you want to come down with each finger. And you want to do that every day, 10 times or whatever, until you can do that without thinking. And we haven't even put it to our mouth yet. Now, let's talk about our mouth. When you've had a stroke, sometimes the left side of your face or possibly the right side might be drooping down a little bit and you might not have the control. So once you get to the point where now you're getting your finger control back and you can actually hold this down to where you're covering up all of these holes, now we want to check and make sure that we're making a sound. Now I'm going to try to mimic what it's like if only one side of my mouth works. It might sound something like this. Hear how there's not a pure note that's coming out? So you're going to practice tightening up your lip muscle until you get a solid, nice note that's coming out. You don't have to worry about holding it for a long time. Take it, make sure you got everything set, and try to play and count to 4. So in my head, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4 while I'm going. Now, you also are practicing breath control, because if you overblow, you're getting a higher note. You might even get more air coming out, and it might not sound as pure as it should. You may not be blowing hard enough, and you're ending up with that sort of a sound. All of that's natural. You're working at trying to make sure you've got breath control, and you're controlling the muscles that will allow that air to come out of your mouth. Now, once you got to that step, you're gonna add your blowing with your fingering. So it's now when you get there, you're at the top of the scale. There's a way to play the high note. You press down on all of them except for this top note, and that's your high D in this case. And you just want to play that scale up and down 100 times a week if you can. You know, you do 20, 10, 15, 20 times a day practicing up and down that scale. What you're doing is you're working your right hand, you're working your left hand, and you're working your face muscles all at the same time just by playing that scale. If you want to make it harder, and you feel like you've gotten to that point and everything's great, get yourself a 10 whistle songbook, which maybe your 10 whistle came with one, and start working through basic exercises of trying to sight read and play the notes of the 10 whistle at the same time. And before you know it, you're going to be able to play the 10 whistle, and you're going to be reversing the effects of the stroke that you dealt with. So I hope that helps you. I know it sounds basic, but in the context of a stroke, nothing is basic anymore. Maybe everything is basic again, and it's frustrating. But at least you'll be hearing progress, and it'll go from sounding something like this to maybe sounding more like. And hopefully, by the time you've worked on this for about a month or two, you'll really start to notice that your speech will improve, because you're starting to work on those muscles that are in your face, and you'll notice that your finger dexterity will be coming back too. So give it 2 or 3 months, and you're probably going to notice a massive difference in how you're feeling. So that's it. God bless you. I hope you have a great day. Again, my name is Willie Minix. If you want private lessons and you're in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, come and look me up. If you want private lessons online, I do that too. So give me a shout, and I can help you out. Also, if you like what we're doing, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. And if you really like what we're doing, throw us a couple bucks over at Patreon so that I can pay Gideon for editing these videos. He does a great job, and he's a good kid. So I hope you have a great day. God bless you. We'll catch you in another video.